All right. Good morning. It is 1:20 in the morning. This is L. Jermaine Russell being prepared for March, the first official week in March trading. Um, Going in on Sunday, or well, Monday, March 5th, 2018. There's a couple of things I do want to go over. First and foremost, uh, I do tend to post up my week's trades. Like I figure that there are some trades or some stocks that I feel like I tend to share, and I share them on Twitter. So what I wanted to do was kind of go over my last couple of trades. Well, the last week of trades, some of the stocks that was on there, and compare it to what I have for this week. And a couple in particular, VCEL, which has not moved as much, only really 20 cents in comparison to the week that we're about to head into. Only went up 25 cents. It closed at 8.35. But this week is coming up with earnings. Actually, earnings, I think it's today. Yeah, so sometime today, earnings before the market opens, I should say, there will be a conference call, and that is at 8:30. So at this time, this is where I'll be listening in and kind of just kind of watching the price action. I want to see where it will go. Um, After earnings has been reported, it has a good chance of breaking out, going a little bit higher, and that would help create multi month high. If we go to 850, if we can break this 850 area, can definitely hit a higher high. It has some good news going into the actual earnings report, or at least some good momentum. It's not news. Um, this is not the one. This There's so many stocks. First and foremost, there are so many stocks that are in play coming up this week. It's ridiculous. It's hard to figure out which one that I want to look at, which one I want to actually divulge any money into. And seeing what not only that companies, for all these pharmaceutical companies, are coming out with information on their latest drug, or that they were at a recent conference presenting information, or they had some type of outsider buying in portions of the company, or that they're going to buy another company. There's just so many different news information that has been coming out on all of these stocks, not just VCEL, which is what I wanted just to originally just compare the price from last week to this week. So I didn't really miss out on much leading into earnings, which is tonight, or well, tomorrow, this morning. So when 8:30 Eastern Standard Time hits around, that's when we'll see if the stock will start to go up in price. So this is just like one of many stocks that I want to look at for this upcoming week. But I will only really go over a couple. Obviously, the ones that are highlighted are the ones that I focus in on. But at the same time, there's just so many different stocks, and I just want to make sure. This is another one. This is another one that I traded earlier this week. MYO. I traded it during last week and was able to get the best trade for the week. Actually, had a good setup, and it's looking like it's going back into a good setup where it has the potential of breaking this 560 area. Right now, it's fighting 520, and that's where I sold at last week. And this now has another opportunity, not just to fight 520, but to get to 560. So this is something else I'll be looking into during the week. Well, not during the week, but later on today, because in the evening time, MYO has its earnings that will be released. So thus far in the morning, the first stock I'll be looking at is VCEL because of their earnings, and then later on it will be MYO. Um, Also, let's look at another one that I have charted, which you do have to look at these at multiple time frames, and I have looked at them in multiple time frames. I'm just trying to shorten the amount of time that I'm going over some of these stocks. So CNAT, that was another stock that as well will be releasing earnings on Wednesday, and normally they have some good earnings going in as listed here. Um, well, listed here, that was the last time they had earnings, and it actually came down. So they didn't really do as well on earnings as I was saying out loud. But at the same time, it has started trading over the 100-day moving average for the year, which is at $5, and it was bouncing off of that for a couple of days. For a couple of days, it was bouncing near that 545, 511, 510 area. So now that it has gained some type of momentum on the uptrend, what I'm anticipating is that it's going to have some pullback, kind of do what it did here on the last spike, did what it did here, right here, right here, right here. It actually went green. It went red, but it was still higher, and then went green the next day before falling down. But this is a bullish engulfing candle, so I wouldn't mind seeing that. So previously, the last time it crossed, and this is why I have it on my watch list, the last time it crossed the 100-day moving average, it actually started to go up more. So being that it's coming up with not only earnings, but it also has a technical indicator that it crossed over the 100-day moving average, I'm anticipating that it does have a little bit more upside, something that like was over here. It crossed the 100-day moving average with a gap up, and what that gap up has been holding ever since. The $3 or even the $4 area is probably the lowest that it will ever be, pending any bad news. So I will be looking at this one as well. I'm not saying this is only holding on to my chart because it's coming out with earnings, so I want to make sure that I have it bright and ready. LTBR, I have it up here. This is Lightbridge Securities. Is there a particular reason why I was holding on to you? I think the main reason why I held on to it is because it's a technical chart, seeing that it's coming to an end on its selling for the day. So this is the first green day, and with that, it has the potential of finding its support at $1.70. If it can hold $1.62, then I can see it continuing to go up. And the gap has already been filled after it gapped up from over here, so it will have probably a difficult challenge trying to recover any of this gap here. But if it does get to the $2 area, that'll be something that's really good for this stock. And it's a low float too, so that's another reason. But I don't really see this doing much. It hasn't come out with any news as of yet, and we don't know when their earnings is supposed to be. So right now it's just chilling on my chart. FATE, this was one that I've had on my watch list before. I had it on one of my watch lists. I can't seem to find it. I think it was there it is. Yeah, down here at the very bottom. Move my cursor. This was February 20th, and it closed at $8.76 on 8/20. So that was two Sundays ago. So with that, that it closed at 876. Right now, it is up $5, and this is another reason why I like holding on to some of those. Um, knowing what I traded, knowing what I have been trading, and everything like that, because you start to see that you were on the right path. So on the 20th, I caught it here, and what did it do? It ended up breaking its resistance here at 930. So once it was able to break this 878 level, and start trading higher, it just only did better. Only did better and better. And I believe you too are coming out with earnings. Yep, you are coming out with earnings. Yeah, after the market closes. So this is another one that I wanted to keep on my radar, because I can see it making some major movements. Not only that they came out with um, with their earnings report, and they have the technicals on their side. It's a low float. Um, you know, there was a couple of other things about this company. It was programmed cellular immunotherapies for cancer and immune disorders. They're doing that. They're doing that. But a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company dedicated to the development of programmed cellular immunotherapies for cancer and immune disorders announced today the California Institute of Regenerative Medicine awarded the company $4 million grant. So I like seeing, money that's in their news, what they're doing. So FT516 is being developed by Fate Pharmaceuticals, off-the-shelf engineering natural killer cell cancer immunotherapy. NK cells produce candidate to derive from a clonal master-induced pluripotent stem cell. Now, line engineered to uniformly express a novel CD16FC receptor. So this is just a fancy way of saying that they developed a drug to be able to bind onto the immunoglobulins, or the heavy chain immunoglobulin receptor. So once you have a receptor of an immune cell, so this immune cell that is really able to kill cancer, this natural killer, um, that's what they're saying that they're receiving money for, um, still because of that drug that they're promoting. So that was good for them. I didn't read much of their studies or anything that they've done in the past. Mainly, I just read their chart, and their chart said it was going to go up, and that's what it did. Um, and if I just kind of laid out a game plan on what I wanted to trade, I think I would have been in this early and would have been able to ride the wave. So I would have been in at the eights. But that's my carelessness. So I'm trying to clean up that stuff. But it was just good to see that in retrospect, that I was on the right track, and I knew that it was going to start going in that type of direction. And ECTY was another one that was on my chart, or on my watch list from before. I think it could have been last week. Yeah, I think it was on here last week. Mm, You're on there. You are, yeah. ECTY. It was at $4.25. So I know I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track with these. See, Fate. I had Fate on there last week too. Like, it was up at $12. So I still didn't buy. So I just know that there are some that are going to go up, and then there's some that I'm just missing, because I'm looking at something else. I don't know. Like, I was looking at VCEL, and it didn't really do much, but this week is going to have its earnings. And the earnings is going to show that it's going to do well. Um, Let me see what PIRS, before I go on. PIRS, it closed last week. Well, this week at 8:35, and last week it closed at 86. So I'm glad I took that off my watch list. MOSY closed at $1.05 and or $1.50, and it closed last week at $1.94. And let's look at SB. SB. SB closed at 378, and SB last week was at 390. So, all right, I'm getting rid of the ones that I don't need. So that's good. I'm just trying to make sure I'm looking at the right stocks essentially at the end of the day. But EC ECYT, this was one that has some earnings coming up. No, this one doesn't have earnings coming up. Maybe it does. I think it does. I think it does, not listed on the side chart. I know Fate was. You see, did I go too fast? I tend to do that. There we go. 50%. No. No, I guess they don't have earnings, but they were just up on that day. Either way, right now it has a potential of hitting, higher than where it was before. 650. That's good. Can it get to the eights? That would be even better. Right now, it is trading over the 100-day moving average after making such a phenomenal move by not only just holding some of these gains that was right here, but also ramping up. It ramped up in activity as well. Did I write notes on you? I know I did. I wrote something. Let's view my notes. No. I just put a mark of where I guess I don't feel 100% comfortable with this one because it's already overextended. But I do want to see if it does, break, because it's already overextended. I just want to see what will happen. Will it drop down, and maybe I can buy the bounce? And that would be even better. So that would be something else that I'm looking at as well. Speaking of buying the bounces, let's look at a stock that has dropped, which was MTUU. This is the one that I wanted to buy when it was on its way up, and I almost forgot that it does have the potential of coming smack down, and that's what happened this week. As it was climbing and climbing and climbing, I remember wanting to get in at $1.90 or $1.09, $1.09 before this started to happen. And when it happened, this happened pre-market. The prices started going up. The prices started going up. This is the 5-day chart, and every tick on here is 2 minutes worth of buying and selling. So here, which you can probably see at a good amount, right when the market was open, it opened up at $1.72, and that it just hit the high right up there, or maybe $1.65 was where it opened up at, and then it just started to crash. Yeah, it opened up at $1.66, and then the low was $1.36. So and then it just started coming down even more to 80 cents. But I wanted to get the bounce. I would have thought the bounce would have been here, where it went from 83 to $1.15. That's a good 30 cents of recovery right there. Could do pretty good if I had if I bought maybe 200 shares or something. But it had even better bounce when it went to the 60-cent area, and that was around lunchtime. Now that's the part where I probably would have been a little bit upset trying to figure out where that bounce would be, because back here it looked like it's going to recover. It looks like it's going to recover really good, and then it gets up to here and then finds its own problems. no, trying to recover over here, and then it holds uh, right here at 97 cents. So it's playing around with a dollar for a while. That playing back and forth, um, it's scary because it's only going back and forth. And I'm noticing if a stock uh, ever this trades flat, essentially it just goes sideways for way too long into the trading day. Eventually, this is going to happen because now there's not enough momentum or enough people that are in the stock to allow it to have some more more momentum and uptrending. But what happened is that after it did oversell some more, it found some bounce and it came back to $1.18, closing at $1.17 or so. So this is a 50-cent return. So that's what I would really want um, out of, where are you? At a GRXXF. What this is doing is essentially the same thing that MTUU is doing. It was having a gradual increase, and then with this gradual increase, I'm anticipating that it just slams down hard, like it just comes down really really hard. Um, right now, it's been trading 600,000. It's been increasing around here at 700,000. It's 200,000, 700, 500, 700, 600. So it's increasing in share price. That's needless to say that it can still be overbought and slammed right down to the 83-cent area. So that is pretty much my potential area of buying, is when it eventually comes back down, to buy it at 83 cents, because that would be support. So I want to see that with this stock, and I also want to see that sell off to that dip buy with, not you because you have no volume, with AHPI. I think it's the same thing. It relatively doesn't have as much volume, but it is a much considerably lower float at 4 million, where MTUU had 30 million and GRXXF have 23 million. AHPI has 4 million, and I see it doing the same thing like I said before, where it has this gradual uptrend, and it did that before right here, where it had a lot of buys and then it came slamming down. Let's look at it on the hour chart, see if we can get some good pricing off of it. Well, it just came slammed down, so I don't even know if you could really, there was any potential of buying in here, buying the dip. There wasn't any. There wasn't any. Maybe this day you could have bought the dip and then just wait, and then you can sell it the next day. But on the same day, it didn't seem like that was happening. And that could be the same thing with this one. It is finding some support at in the 380s. So support in the 380s. Potential of retesting 433, and and challenging that 525 would be a task. But we can see how it moves. Yeah, I am slightly tired. I am talking slow. I really shouldn't be, but this is, I'm just I'm just so enthralled, and I just don't want to, say, I don't want to, I guess, be too negative. I don't on man, it can just fall. It could just break down. I don't want to be bearer of bad news when it comes to these stocks, because not all of them always go in the direction that you want. So you do want to play to your risk level, and you do want to play where that you are confident in your and your strategy or your plan, your game plan for the stock, because that's essentially what you need. This guy stick with your plan. Once you stick with your plan, then you know you can do so well. I only do bad when I don't stick to my plan, which is damn near 60% of the time. But when I stick to my plan and I follow my strategy, I'm going to, I'm going to get my win. And being in front of my laptop helps. Actually, or being in a place where I can sit down and be able to look at the stock chart, undisturbed, not doing a multitude of things, because that is also something that's very helpful. So tomorrow, what I will essentially do, and going on 25 minutes. Tomorrow, what I plan on trading, I'm still holding WWE. I bought some more shares at $38, and I'm anticipating that they give off some good news in this Florida conference that they're supposed to be doing with Deutsche Bank. So I want to see. I want to get some good reaction out of this as it continues to trade above the 100-day moving average. Um, you know, what scares me is that it does trade close to the 100-day moving average, and I don't want it to dip like it has done before going back up. But I feel like it might do that at some point of this week. But I hope not, because I want to hold on to this dividend. I want to hold on to the stock for the dividends and everything like that comes with it. So I just wanted to continue to go higher, and I can see it going higher as the year progresses. Oh, like I was saying, for tomorrow, I do want to trade. I do have some time to trade in the morning, so I will do so. I believe CNAT. Well, that's not tomorrow, even though I'm looking at it. I do want to get in at a good price on it because I feel like that it will have some good uptrending. But FATE at the market close will be one of my tops. EC no, even that's later in the week. VCEL, I think Myo as well. No, not Myo. So okay. So tomorrow I know I want to look at OCUL. No, no, no. FATE. I know I want some FATE. I know that. I know I want some FATE. I know I want some VCEL. And there was one other one. There was one other one that I was looking at where I was like, oh, that looked like, was it UREPH? I think it was R. It could have been REPH. If it can continue doing what it's doing, where it has this hard pullback, um, as we can tell, I wanted to come to 1030. It's trading above its 3 month high. Um, I think the 330 is just a safe area, but that's probably an area where it could potentially fail, fail the whole stock. If it can get to 1060 and hold it, well, let's say 1065. Yeah, into the 1067, 1065 area. If it can hold that, then I have more confidence in the stock than anything. It's going to need some pullback because it is overbought on by the hour, but we shall see. Um, but I do like it. I do like the potential it has. I'm not sure if it was I. Insulat. Even though there were another interesting company. Yeah, was this is also this is not a pharmaceutical. It's satellite. There was one that was dealing with the court. There was one that was like in a battle with court. Insulat, or Intelsat. Um, I I like it. I think it's nice. It did have some nice uptrending where it went from the 240s to now, $2 above it from its lows. I like the fact that it's bouncing off the 100-day moving average, and I also like the fact that it closed on a green day on Friday. Now it's not quite engulfing, but I can see it doing something, and getting the five is will be its next challenge. Um, but right now, I'm just not 100% sold on buying I just because of its float. The float is considerably high. That's not something that I want to be a part of at this given moment in time. Um, AMFD, don't like you, not a big fan. Um, TTOO, it has these spikes. I'm just afraid that one too many spikes is going to come back down to the 100-day moving average. Is already $2 above it, but I can see it doing something. Right now, it's when is this earnings? Is after on Tuesday. I'll see on Tuesday what I'll do with that. But right now, I'm not going to be trading it. Was it FNJN? That's who it was. FNJN. They're interesting just because of the fact that they're supposed to be resolving whatever issue that they had that kept it so secretive, that you can't find out what the litigation really was on that happened back in 2016. But some shares might be no. This is not the one with the shares sold at a premium, but this is one where stocks was it was Intelsat was the one that was shares were sold at a premium. This one, I wanted to see it to get the four. I wanted to see it to get the four. See what happened after the litigation occurred. It is overbought right now, because there has been some type of agreement, secretive agreement with the company on whatever litigation that they had. It did trade a little bit higher. And how did it close on the day? On the day, not only did it go up from pre-market 45 cents, it came back down, but it didn't trace back all of its gains. It took back some, but not all, because of profit takers, obviously. Um, it's on this multi-day high, where it has been kind of trailing higher, and then low, and then high, and then low, and then you know, after hours energy said, let it go up on Thursday into Friday. So FNJN, will be looking at you as well. I don't know which one I'm going to choose, and I'm just going to keep it at that. I do know that I will be, more than likely trading. Um, I don't know, FATE, just because it's been doing so well, and I do have some FOMO, fear of missing out. I do have some of that lingering in, and I also know that VLCE is another one. So those two I definitely want to look at for pre-market and see where it goes. And from there, I'm not going to force anything. I'm just going to, take the trade as is. But those are my two top stocks for Monday. Let's see what stocks will survive for the rest of the week. Um, until then, this is 34 minutes already in. I know I'm going to do well, and I just anticipate another 15% return on the week. So, yeah, I hope everybody is okay. Take care and have a good trading week.